Hello everyone, I'm getting into this video and it's about how to be productive. Yeah, I can't control everything that happens in the background, but this is why when it comes to being productive, when it's time for you to focus, you need to actually focus. You have to realize that most people are busy throughout the day, but when you can relax and do the things that you want to do, you need to make sure that even though you are busy, that you have 30 minutes to an hour to do what it is that you want to do. You need to make sure that you're very honest with yourself of your schedule, because every single day is not going to be the same, and your schedule may change depending on your responsibilities, what else you may want to do. And you don't want it to be that just because your schedule changes that it throws off your routine, because the whole point of having a routine is so that you have a list of things that you have to do. But you have to make sure that when it comes to a routine, that once you get used to the routine, it's good to switch things up. Because when you're trying to get used to a routine, the routine is there to give you structure, it's there to make your day easier. If you start your day in a bad way and sometimes you decide to sleep in, you realize that by sleeping in, that most of your day is already gone. And even if you're not a person that you don't like being outside, you realize by being outside like I am now, it can make you see the world differently. You want to make sure that you have a starting point. You realize over time you can figure out ways of how to do things in less time. And that's what being productive is all about. For example, when you're stuck in your routine, you know very well what you're doing every single day. But if you look at someone else's routine and they're doing the things that you want to do, you can look at what someone else is doing, but then you have to know your schedule. You need to realize that everyone has the same 24 hours. It's just how you choose to spend your time. And you need to do things that will actually benefit you. So all the things that distract you and all the things that you do, but then later on you don't see the actual benefit in it, you need to make sure that you have good habits. And you need to make sure that when you're under stress, do not let stress get to you. When you don't take care of yourself and you don't have a good skincare routine, it starts to affect your everyday activities. Because you realize you're not as confident to take on challenges. Some people may say it's not that deep to really take care of your skincare, but for me it really is. And you want to make sure that when you're productive, you start to learn from other people. And when you start to take care of your skin, you get compliments, but not only compliments, you start to get the confidence to actually talk to other people. And then once you get the confidence to talk to other people, you then learn from other people. And that's the thing, because if you can't take care of your face, it is really shallow, but I have to be honest with you. Because if you can't take care of your face, it's not about how people perceive you, but it's really about how you perceive yourself. Let's say, for example, you do the 30 days, as I said in this video. Once you do the 30 days, you can then do another 30 days, but you try something different. When it comes to being confident in yourself, you need to start doing things that will really benefit you. And once you see that you've done it once, you can then do it again. So, for example, let's say you fall off track, and you're tracking all your habits, you tried your best to actually keep going, but then one day you start to wake up later, because when you start to ignore the things you're doing, it's because you don't feel like it. And there will be days where you don't feel like it, and there will be days where you start to forget things. And that's why when you forget things, it's very important the day before that you start to write it down, or the day before that you start to plan around all these possibilities. Because that's really the whole point, because you need to keep yourself accountable. And if you have those days where you forget the most important things, it's making sure that you at least do something to at least return back to normal. And when I mean normal, it's just making sure that you make these habits normal. Because by you having good habits, it has to be normal. And people say that good habits are boring, but those good habits, it really builds your character. And even when things are out of your control, you have to make sure that you give it your best shot, because once you give it your best shot, you can then move on, knowing that you gave it your best shot. In this video, I just wanted to make it clear that you are in control of most things that you want to do. When you're able to get in a routine, it's about changing your habits over time. And then over time, you realize that it builds a foundation for where you want to be. And that's what I wanted to say, because the habits that you're doing right now, is it taking you closer to where you want to be? And is it making you a better person? And you have to ask yourself that, because the habits that you're doing now, if it doesn't make you a better person, then you need to question why are you doing it, and you need to figure out how to stop it. And you have to make sure that as long as you ask yourself those questions, you're more likely to think of what your first step is, so that you can break your old habits and you can break your bad habits, so that you can replace your old habits with something new. So that's all I've got to say, and I'll see you in another video.